Good afternoon from CBS 2 and KCAL 9. Let's go live to downtown Los Angeles right now, where LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva is speaking about the coronavirus here in the county.
A variety of individuals, such as government officials, fake charities, and offering counterfeit or unapproved products for sale. So don't fall for it. Now, recommendations. One of them, the first one, the phishing emails. Those ones you should be familiar with by now. And don't click on any email that you don't recognize, or any link or any attachment you don't recognize. And you can be your computer could be infected with malware from this phishing thing, or your personal information can be divulged. So be very careful about that. And do not provide your name, username, password, or any personal information without you initiating the process, going through legitimate sources. Okay, and watch out for emails, particularly now for those claiming to be from the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, or other organizations claiming to have some kind of information about the virus. That's what they're keying on, and basically on the public's ignorance. So be very alert for this. You may receive emails from fraudulent accounts impersonating doctors or official websites like the CDC. You can put the link on your computer over the domain name to see what it looks like. And if you don't see a recognized .gov extension on it, and it says a .com or something, automatically the suspect. And keep the software updated on your computers, phones, and electronic devices, and back up your data regularly. Okay, charity organizations, we're really grateful that people want to contribute to charity, and we've definitely appreciated everyone is able to bless other people for any financial support during this crisis. But you got to do your research, who you're donating to, understand who they are, and vet them very carefully, particularly pop-up organizations that you've never heard of before. Highly suspect, and very careful about that. And make sure you pay by credit card, and never by gift card or any wire transfer of that sort. And you have to also be cautious of people who are selling products which could be counterfeit. They claim to prevent, treat, diagnose, or cure the COVID-19 virus. And be alert also for counterfeit personnel protection equipment, such as N95 masks, goggles, gloves, etc. And for more information about unapproved or counterfeit products, go to the website cdc.gov/NIOCH. And if you were a victim of fraud, you believe you were, please contact your bank, your credit card companies, the credit reporting agencies, and notify your local law enforcement agency, and they will initiate the criminal report for you. Okay. Now we're going to go through and we're going to cover, well, we covered this part. Okay, and we got that, we covered that. Okay, next topic I want to talk about is guns and ammunition sales. After the governor's clarification yesterday about my authority was in this subject, we definitely let it be known that we're going to proceed forward, and we're going to shut down gun sales and ammunition sales outside of law enforcement and private security organizations. That'll be effective for all of unincorporated Los Angeles County and the 42 cities which we provide contracted law enforcement services to. We met and conferred with the LA County Chiefs of Police Association, and we're going to defer. I'm going to defer to each individual chief of police to establish what it will be for their city. And the city of LA, for example, they have banned all the gun shops. They closed them throughout the duration of this pandemic. And the city of Pasadena is going to follow our standard, and it'll be up to each individual chief of police, and there's 45 in Los Angeles County. Okay, let's see what's next. Now here's the next topic, which is kind of reared its ugly head as of yesterday when I received that notification at 4 in the afternoon that the county, the Board of Supervisors, was resurrecting a plan to remove me as a director of emergency operations. And this is, well, one, we've never been in this situation our entire lifetime, and I don't think anyone has ever been in a situation where during the moment of a crisis like this, we're going to tamper with approved upon, agreed upon, and vetted by the federal government, state government, and even the county ordinance. And this is what we're getting. See, we need masks, gloves, sanitizer, and so the Board of Supervisors, their priority on this issue is beyond me. And this type of attempt or transition puts everyone in peril. And that is not fear-mongering, that's just a fact. And I'll give you an example. Example is a public safety issue because of the way the stay-at-home order was vetted and then disseminated publicly. The public didn't take it. I mean, some people took it seriously. Unfortunately, a very significant part of the population did not take it seriously. There was no communication with or coordination with all the major players in this operation to see how it could be successfully enforced and to gain the voluntary compliance from the public, which we're seeking. As you can see, just from these headlines, parks, beaches crowded, and it was ignored by a large segment of the population. Let's go on to the next. Same thing here, golf courses. Keep going. Complete Zoo. Santa Monica closes their beach and their parking lots. All right, and keep going. And then the run on guns. Well, we addressed that issue already, and thankfully that now we've addressed it responsibly. Now, what we have seen, strangely, in these press conferences, we see a lot of people getting in front of the microphone and thanking each other. And I'd say let's stop the thanking each other and let's focus on the task at hand. And when it is all said and done, and we've done our best and worked our best with everybody collaboratively and respecting each other, then at the end of the day, then will be the time to thank everyone. We'll start with the people on the ground that are depending on good leadership, depending on people understanding what their role is in times of crisis and acting in a responsible manner. And when we have this type of thing, unfortunately, people that may have an important message is going to get lost because people are going to tune you out. The viewer fatigue, you become background noise, and people just are not going to care. And that's deadly because we need people to care. We need people to listen to the health officer. We need people to listen to those who are going to enforce the health officer's regulations. That is the entire idea why we work collaboratively together. And the Board of Supervisors, I think two in particular, keep referring to this Woolsey report as somehow the reason why they're making this motion next Tuesday. But we actually took the time to read the Woolsey report, and I'd encourage them to read their own report because first and foremost, you hear conducting response operations in accordance with NIMS. NIMS is a National Incident Management System. That is a system that the LA County Sheriff's Department, their Emergency Operations Bureau, the County Emergency Operations Center, where we're currently located right now, that is the model that we're using. And that is a approved model that also is done by the state. If you see when Governor Newsom does his press conference, he's doing it at the California Office of Emergency Services. He's not doing it at the governor's mansion. He's not doing it at the state capitol or in his offices. He's at exactly where he needs to be, at the operations center. Okay, then, and I've been working very hard to get the Board of Supervisors to comply with these standards and to have a unified command. And in fact, this is also from the Woolsey report. And these are recommendations. Counter leadership should strive for a more collaborative, one-team LA mindset. I can't emphasize that enough. And here they talk about a unified command operation where key decision makers come together under an incident commander. That is very important. And we're, let's go on to the next one. And let me show you, next one. Our operator fell asleep there for a second. Sorry, folks. This is what the current organizational chart looks like for any incident, large-scale incident. This is the largest scale incident ever done in the history of the United States in terms of using National Incident Management System, using the state Emergency Management Services System. This is Incident Command System. You have the CEOC director. You have a deputy director, and you have operations section chiefs. And this is where the brains of the operation happens.